Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Fiona Mao for today's Parents Roundtable discussion. Please, I hope I can be heard.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So good evening once again, everyone. My name is Fiona Mao, the host for today's Parents Roundtable discussion. And Parents Roundtable discussion is a virtual monthly program that is held via Zoom on the third Saturday of every month to educate parents and caregivers on some important health topics and special needs as well. So it takes place from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. mostly, and it's been running for the past 3 years now. So every speaker and resource person that is invited on here is an expert in his or her field and brings us nothing but good information. So today's speakers are in the person of Ms. Gifty Ayoka and Mrs. Charity Mustafa. And our topic for discussion today is a very, very interesting one, which is excessive screen time and importance of play. So Ms. Gifty Ayoka is a founder and speech therapist. Ms. Gifty Ayoka is a devoted speech and language therapist and an inclusion advocate. Her career took a remarkable turn when her son was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in the year 2014. This prompted her transition from banking to pursuing a Master of Science degree in speech and language therapy. Madam Gifty's advocacy work is comprehensive, involving engagement with governmental bodies, religious organizations, and as well leading to the establishment of the Talking Tips Africa Foundation, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to empowering individuals with disabilities and their families. A key focus of her advocacy is prompting the access to assistive technology, and the project relates app and others for those with communication disabilities. Madam Gifty has also shared her research on autism at international conferences in countries like Kenya and Ethiopia. Furthermore, she is a prominent voice in media, writing articles for newspapers. She also participates in radio and television discussions and recently has been featured on the BBC Africa Daily podcast. Madam Gifty Ayoka's journey exemplifies her unwavering dedication to improving the lives of individuals with communication disabilities, breaking down barriers and advocating for inclusivity on both local and global platforms. And on to Madam Charity Mustafa. Madam Charity Mustafa is a pediatric neurodevelopmental therapist who holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Ghana, a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Ghana, and a fellowship in pediatric neurodevelopmental therapy from South Africa, and a master's degree in public health from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She is very passionate about early detection and management of children with special needs, especially children with cerebral palsy, and as well helps caregivers of these children with coping strategies. She is a staunch advocate for children with special needs. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would hand the mantle over to Mrs. Charity Mustafa and Madam Gifty Ayoka. So please, Mrs. Gifty Ayoka and Ms. Gifty Ayoka and Mrs. Charity Mustafa, if you are ready, please let us know, and over to you. You are very welcome. And to the rest of you wonderful participants, you are as well welcome to today's Parents Roundtable discussion. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So I will start. It's good to be here. It's always good to talk to parents and to learn together. So thank you so much for the introduction. Um, I think I'll just go straight to
You're
sharing
welcome.
my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll go straight to talking about screen time. How much time do I have?
Please, about 30 minutes. I hope that will do.
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
That will
thank
do.
you.
Thank you too. Okay. Okay, so we'll talk about screen time. What is screen time? It's the amount of time that a child spends using the devices like with the screen, like the smartphone, the computer, TV, or video games. So mostly when you talk to parents and
Hello,
you,
Auntie Gifty. Sorry to interrupt. It looks like we can't see us. If you are sharing a slide, then we can't see it.
oh really?
Yes, please. So
Okay,
please stop sharing and erase
try
it again.
again.
Let's see. Yes,
All right,
please.
do that. Okay, let me try again. Okay,
Yes, it's on now.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I was talking about screen. And so mostly when I talk to parents about screen time, I get feedback like, so my son doesn't do TV. Then I ask, what about the tablet? Oh, yes, we do tablet. So screen time includes the smartphone, the computer, tablet, anything with a screen is screen time. So whatever amount of time your child spends using any of these devices is termed as screen time. And there are two types of screen time. There's the, oh, let me put it on presentation mode. Sorry. There's passive screen time when the child is left behind the screen alone, all by themselves. And this is what mostly happens, where we just leave the child behind the screen. And that is called the passive screen time. The active screen time is when a parent or a caregiver joins the child to do the screen time together. So if your child is watching any of the fun stuff that they watch on TV, you have to join to make it active. And that is what we call the active screen time. Or if there's a game, you can join your child to play the game so that there's some interaction going on. So this is how passive screen time looks like. And again, this is how passive screen time looks like. So there are families where every child in the family owns a tablet. And I always say that it's even that if you want to buy, I mean, the device for your children, isn't it better if they had to share one, because then some interaction will go on. They have to take turns to use it, or they have to use two would have to use it at the same time. So this is passive screen time, and we are all guilty of this type of screen time as well, where everybody is on the screen. And sometimes when we go out with our friends, we mostly do this. But this is what passive screen time looks like at home with the children. Okay, so this is how active looks like. And I always tell parents that if you can do this kind of screen time, I would applaud you. I would clap for you, because me, I haven't been able to do that. And so if I have to avoid it and set limits, I do that. But if you can do this and join your child to do the screen time, well done. But as a therapist, I haven't been able to do that. I would like to know from the chat. I would like to know from the chat how much time your child spends watching the screen, whether educational video or cartoons. Please let me know. So let me know if it's 30 minutes a day, 2 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours. Okay, so this is the World Health Organization recommendation on screen time. So according to World Health, children below 18 months must not be allowed to watch the screen. So if you have a child below 18 months, they are not supposed to watch anything related to the screen at all. It was just during COVID that they tried to, because people were not allowed to go out. Then they said, okay, it can be used for video chatting because you can't visit family. But again, if that is all the child uses it for, to call daddy, video calling daddy, that is allowed. Then after 2, it recommends not more than an hour in a day. And that, even that, we have to do it in bits of either 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So you can't leave the child behind the screen. This is after 2 years. If you still want to do the screen, and I always say that if you can, wait till the child is 3. But if you can't, and you have to go by these guidelines, you would want to break it down in bits of either 20 minutes or 30 minutes, so that the child can get the chance to go out and get some sunlight or be active, and then come back and continue with the screen time. And apart from the screen time limit, WHO is also saying that a child should not be inactive for more than an hour. This is because it leads to childhood obesity. So we have to allow the children to either crawl around, walk around, so that we do not encourage the children to be inactive, because then eventually when you say that they should, exercise, and as they grow, then it becomes very difficult. So the more you allow your kids or the children to be active, the better it is for them. And also, and childhood obesity, we all know that it is not good. It could lead to other health conditions. So let's go to, so I would talk about, okay, it talks about children under the age of 2 should not be restrained or seated for more than an hour or strapped to the caregiver's back. I'm emphasizing this because usually we want the child to be quiet, but WHO is telling us that you cannot strap the child for more than an hour. Children below 5, they are wired to be active. And if you come to me, or if you come to my colleague Charity, and you told us that your child can actually sit still your child under 5 can actually sit still for 5 hours, 2 hours, we'll be worried, because they are not wired to sit still. They are very energetic, and we should create an environment where they get to exert these energies. And my other advice always to parents is that the only reason we don't want them to be active is because they might break something, right? Or we are scared that they might hurt themselves. How about all these pictures that we have framed? It looks really nice, but there's just a small window where these children need to be active. They need to be active. Why don't we put all these things, hide them, and then allow the children to just explore and play in the environment, so that we are not worried that they are going to hurt themselves? So let's allow our children to be adventurous, and also let's keep the environment safe for them. And by removing things that are breakable, things that are dangerous, I think that if you allow them to play around, and knowing that you've removed all these things, you won't be worried that they are overly active or they are likely to destroy anything in the home environment or even outside. If you can, allow them to go outside. Okay. The American Academy of Pediatricians they also say the same thing that the WHO is saying. Children under 2 should avoid the use of screen, whether educational video, whether it's cartoons, whatever it is, we have to avoid it under the age of 2. It is not good for them. We'll go to that. Then again, age 3 to 5 years is the same thing that American Academy of Pediatricians, the same thing they are saying, that if you must do it, it has to be of a very high quality program, things that the child will learn from, and you should do it with them, co-viewed with caregivers. And as I mentioned, I am not able to do that, but if you can sit with them, good luck. Okay, let's look at some of the effects of excessive screen time. According to the WHO,
Ms. Gift, please sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, but pertaining to the question you asked earlier on, people have placed and put responses in the group, and then someone was saying that she cannot hear. So I want to find out if it's a challenge for other people as well. So please, can you all hear, please? Okay, great. And please, the responses are in the chat box. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the responses. We'll come, please keep them coming in. Okay, so these are some of the effects of screen time. Children are less likely to be able to write when they start writing because they haven't developed the skills that would help them to write. Writing, before a child begins to write, they would have firmed up the muscles that is responsible for writing. And that is by, using your hands. Those who build their bodies will say you use it or you lose it. And so it is the same for the child. If the child is constantly playing with their hands, they are picking things, they are fixing things, they are firming up the fingers or the muscles for their writing skills. But if they are just glued to the screen, where they don't do anything with their fingers, or sometimes it's just swipe, 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 it is not helping them. And so we have a lot of these children, they start school and the teachers are complaining that they can't write, and then they would need intervention. They would need to see mostly an occupational therapist, and that is a lot of money. And these things can be prevented. So let's make sure that the children are using their hands and not glued to the screen constantly. Again, reduce vocabulary, screen time. The next effect is reduce vocabulary, communication skills, and eye contact. So if a child is glued to the screen, chances are that they are limited to whatever they hear or whatever they see on the screen. But if you allow the child to explore other things in the environment, they are more likely to experience one. So let's say if they are in the home environment and you allow them to just play around, they are more likely to know that, okay, so the maybe a pillow is soft, maybe the chair is hard, and so they are exploring the world around them. You can't get this from the screen. And as they are doing that, you are also more likely to say, maybe don't hold the chair, or maybe go this way, go towards the playground. You are using a lot of language to sort of direct the child's play. And so as you're doing that, you are building the child's communication skills. And I always tell parents that, remember that the screen is passive. There's no back and forth. And communication is two-way. And so they don't learn that from the screen. But if you allow them to be all over being active, chances are that because they are overly active, you would definitely say something to them. They would draw your attention to something they found. You would expand their vocabulary. They will find a ball and you can add the color of the ball to it or the size of the ball. And these things, you wouldn't get it from the screen. And if a child is constantly glued to the screen, I mean, where else are they looking? So the eye is just, one way. It's just, you're talking to them and they are looking straight. So the effects are enormous. Again, when children use the screen, they are less likely to be creative. Have you ever watched your child playing? Look at the things they say, and sometimes they borrow words from the home environment, things that maybe daddy, they would pretend that maybe a box is a computer, and so the things daddy would do, maybe daddy is on a Zoom meeting talking to his boss, and so some of the language that daddy will probably use whilst typing the computer and maybe talking on the Zoom or whatever it is, the children will begin to imitate these things. Okay, and sometimes they expand it. They even expand it. They expand some of the things they watch in the environment when they are not using the screen. You realize that they can even use the computer in a way, or the play whatever they are using to represent the computer. They do things in a way, and you're wondering, like, how are they able to figure some of these things out? The child's brain is creative, okay? And I always say that if you leave a child in a place, even where there are no toys, trust me, they are always able to do something, whether it is the tapping of the wall. I've seen children play with nothing. It's just maybe chasing each other, taking turns to tap a table. And I've watched these things, and I'm always surprised that, so they can be this creative. But guess what? If they are just glued to the screen, how can they even imitate anything that they've seen in the environment, the home environment? It won't happen. The screen doesn't allow them to be creative. So let's allow our children to explore their environment, and let's reduce their screen time, because there's just a lot that a child can do when they are not glued to the screen. Okay. Then poor sleep. Again, there's the light from the screen delays the release of melatonin, which is the chemical that we need to induce sleep. So as children spend more time on the screen, this chemical reduces. And so we realize that they don't sleep early. Children that are overly exposed to the screen, they do not sleep early. And guess what? This also affects the academic work, because then sometimes they don't even go to school, because in the morning, when you wake them up, they don't want to wake up. They'll be late, and in the end, maybe they might miss school. So you want to avoid excessive screen time. If you must, please follow the guidelines. Then we already mentioned the childhood obesity. Then there's been some links to the increased risk of myopia, nearsightedness, because of the rays from the screen that affects the eye as well. And these days, I see a lot of children wearing glasses. I don't know if that is linked to excessive screen time. Research is still ongoing, but I always say that if you can, there are things you can minimize and avoid. Try and minimize and avoid, because I mean, I've never heard of artificial eyes, and once your eye, unless you wear glasses. So these things, you have to be more proactive in protecting your children. Okay. So this is the child's brain, and by age 3, usually the child's brain is 80% developed, and by age 5 is 90% developed. And so if you don't make this window a period where the child is exploring their environment and developing all the connections in the brain, the more they interact with their environment, the more the brain is also making new connections. They'll miss out on this period. And so by age 3, mostly they are formed. You see, so that is why sometimes you meet 1 3-year-old, very eloquent, is able to, interact with their peers, very sociable. And then you meet another one who most likely maybe not exposed much, always behind the screen. These things affect children. Okay, and that is why people say that the slum child is more eloquent than the Dadaba child. I'm sure my Ghanaian people would understand these things. That is because of the exposure. they don't get the screen. It is more interaction, play, and all that. And so they are more likely to be, eloquent or, have good communication skills than a child that is not too exposed to, some of these things that we mentioned about allowing the child to explore their environment, engaging the child. There's this research, I don't know if time will allow me, where they try to assess how children learn speech sounds from the screen and then from humans. And they made it such that the screen was very like quality screen, big screen, and they placed the children behind these screens to see if they are able to acquire this, and looking at the brain activity whilst the children were watching this video. They realized that the face-to-face with the caregiver produced more brain activity than when the children were put behind the screen with the, using the video, but also the parents were in the video. They realized that the video and between the video and the face-to-face, the children's brain activity, it was higher with the face-to-face. So this goes to show us that children don't learn much from the screen at a certain age, especially the 0 to 5 period. Okay, as they grow, you can minimize it. You can, decide what is beneficial to them. But between the 0 to 5 or 0 to 3, you want to minimize the exposure to screen. Then let's go through the myth about screen time. Screen time helps my baby to learn. There's no evidence to support this idea for children under 2 years of age. Okay. Of course, like I mentioned, some educational videos might be beneficial to the older kids. Then it says the myth 2, interactive screen games are better than simply watching screens. Early evidence suggests that interactive screens may reduce communication with adults, which is important for child development. So these are all myths. And mostly when children pick up things from the vocabulary from the screen, there are times when they use it in isolation, because some parents will tell you that my child says mama, but not to me. It's in isolation because they haven't learned to connect mama with their mother, or daddy with their dad. And I know that for some of you, you would say that, oh, okay, but my child doesn't, when the TV is on, I mean, my child is not really interested, and so it's just on. But guess what? At that very young age, children are not able to, they are not able to concentrate on multiple things at the same time. They can only focus on one thing. And so if their attention they are competing their attention with the background noise from the screen, and then your voice or whoever is in the house, caregiver's voice, chances are that they will miss out on the human interaction because of the background noise from the TV. So there must be a time where the screen is off so that the child will get to pick up from the adults in the home. So when the TV is on and the child is not even watching, it is still not advisable. Okay. Then you're asking, then what are the alternatives? My colleague will talk about play. But in the first 3 years of life where the brain is developing, you want to engage your child in lots of talking. Read to your child. And I met another colleague where we're talking about reading to your child. And then she told me that I know most of you know that you can also read to the unborn baby in the womb, okay? Because there's research that backs that they pick up vocabulary as you are reading. They can actually hear you because hearing is formed by 14 weeks. And then she was telling me that by the time she gave birth, she had already read 10 books to the baby in the womb. So then the mothers are like, oh, wow. When I share this story, and I say, okay, well, you didn't do this. Now the child is here. You can go and get books and start reading to the baby. And you are saying, oh, the child will tear the books. As they tear the books, they are also firming their fine motor skills. And they can't behave like adults. So when they tear it, please just buy plenty sellotape so that you keep, when they tear, you sellotape it, you sell it. But if you can't get hard books are usually expensive. If you can afford the hard books, please go for them, because then you are not worried about them tearing them. But it is all good for their fine motor. As they try to flip the pages, it builds up the muscles responsible for their fine motor skills, which they would use to write. Okay, so reading is good. And so much happens when your child is exploring their environment. You see their interest, because once your child has been let loose in quotes, you see them staring at something, and then you're wondering, what is my child looking at? Okay, then you try to maybe provide the word, the vocabulary for it. And that's how children learn. It's like learning a new language. They've sent you to stay with maybe if you want to learn Ga, they send you all the way to Bukum to go and learn Ga, only for you to get there. No one is speaking Ga. Everybody is quiet. Chances are that you come back and you can't speak the Ga. It's the same with children. They can only say what they have heard from you, human interaction. If they haven't heard it before, they can't say it. If they haven't experienced it, they can't say it. And so please, let's allow our children to explore the environment. Read to your child. The best way, apart from maybe going to places with your child, the best way children can also discover things is through the books, because they see the zoo, they see grass, they see the playground. Books are good, books are great. And you should have a target that by the time your child is 5, they should at least have 100 books. And it is possible. And if you're really looking out for books, you go to these people, the people that sell these used items. Sometimes they have books and it is very affordable. Okay, so this is how much sleep your child needs. So I'll just, please, how much time do I have? So good quality sleep.
So you can use like some 10 minutes more.
All right, too. Okay. So good quality sleep for 0 to 3 months. Okay, let's even talk about the 4 to 11 months. I know mostly the screen time starts after 4 months. They need 12 to 16 hours of sleep. Do you think your child is getting that? Children 1 to 2 years, they need 180 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Do you think your child is getting that? Okay, so then how can I know there are also professionals with us. How can we sort of teach families on how to, manage screen time? You, as a family, you need to have some screen time restrictions. Okay, if we're eating, everybody's phone should be somewhere so that we can talk and engage. Okay, so everybody, usually we are all on our screens. Even when you've made time to go out with the family, everybody's on their screen. I've seen that a lot in the restaurants, and I am guilty sometimes. And professionals can also teach parents about passive versus active screen time. And I think I mentioned the active is better if you must do screen time. And screen time, once it's addictive, is really, really difficult to change. So you want to avoid it. And I've heard so many stories where the child would, cry, and the only way you can calm this child is to give them the screen. I've seen that so many times. What are we doing? We are just reinforcing negative behavior. And so the earlier we start reducing it and giving some guidelines and some restrictions, the better. And I already mentioned the alternatives. Okay, so for the child, for professionals like maybe doctors, community health workers, the schools, the preschools or the schools in general, we need to start educating our parents on screen time and its effect. I've come into contact with several parents who tell me that they never knew that the cartoon was not, or the educational videos was not good for their children below 18 months, a lot of them. So can we revise the child welfare? Can we revise the script? Are we able to revise the script? Because there's just a huge number a huge number of parents who come in for the child welfare clinics, or yes, the child for the vaccination. we can, together with the community health nurses who usually administer these vaccinations, I know they talk about diet, the importance of vaccination, why you should sleep in treated mosquito nets. Because these now screen time is something that we are all concerned about. Can we add this to the script? So this is a sample script. As much as nutrition and vaccinations are important for your child's development, do you know that there are also things to avoid during the first 5 years of the child's life? According to WHO, children under 5 should not be exposed to cartoons and educational videos for more than an hour in a day. We can do that. And by doing this, we would have informed them. And I want to start hearing stories. Oh, they told me at child welfare clinic. They told me at child welfare, and maybe I didn't think I want to start hearing. Let's change the narrative. The schools as well. When parents enroll their children, you have a role to play to educate them because you are the professional, okay? And so you have to tell them what else can they do outside of the school environment. What else can teachers do? What else can parents do to help their children at home? Because if they come to school and they are not doing screen and they go home and they do excessive screen time, what good have we done them? Okay. I've heard of stories from so many teachers, and they tell you that Mondays, the children their attention is poor because of the excessive screen time that they've had. It's just flying all over the place, lots of mimicking rhymes and all that, and not really communicating. Okay, where can we get child-friendly books? STEM Toys for Kids is inside Lakeside Estate near the Shell filling station. There's EPP Bookshop, Legon, opposite University of Ghana, the malls, the entrance of Melcom at the Spintex branch, the used good sellers. I have been lucky. I've had so many good books from them. Then always remember that in getting toys, do not spend a lot of money on expensive toys. The best toys are the ones without the batteries, because then the child adds their imagination. Let me give you an example of a toy, of a car that has lights, can move by itself or with controllers. What will the child do? The child will just stare at the lights and then just watch the car move because they are controlling it. But guess what? If the car had no batteries, chances are that the child will say, vroom, crash. Okay. They will use their hands that we want them to use. They will use it to push the car. There's a time where battery operated toys will come in, but as they are developing, you want them to explore. You want them to explore as much as possible. And that is why sometimes you see people just leave their children in mud, playing, maybe pretending to farm, or they know the importance of these experiences. Okay. I know that for some of you have older kids, and for children that are older than 5 years, you would want to still do the screen time, but make sure that your children are choosing very quality programs. They are not doing more than an hour in a day, or more than 2 hours at most in a day. For children above 12 years, okay. Then this is a model that we'll send the slide. This is a model that you can use in choosing a program for your child. You want to look at this model. Is it engaging enough? What is the content? Is it making your child actively, does it allow your child to actively participate in whatever program that the child is viewing? So this is a model that you can use in choosing the right media content for your child. Okay, so think about this. Think of the child's language development as a garden. Screen time can be like planting too many artificial flowers. They may look colorful, but they won't help the garden to grow naturally. Just as real soil and sunlight are essential for the garden's growth, real life interactions and conversations are crucial for a child's language development. While excessive screen time can be like those artificial blooms, lacking the nourishment needed for their linguistic skills to flourish. So let's think about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much, Ms. Gitayoka. That was a lovely presentation. So please, without wasting much time, I would like to hand over the mantle to Madam Charity so that when she's done with her presentation, we do a joint question time. So please, Mrs. Charity, are you ready, please? Hello. Please, can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And please, Mrs. Charity Mustafa, can you hear me, please? I think maybe she's having a challenge. Please, just a second. Hello, Mrs. Charity. Okay, so please, in order not to waste any time, Madam Gifty. Hello, Madam Gifty.
Yeah.
Please, do you mind doing the question time now?
Okay. Are you able to read them out to me, please?
Yes, please, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first comment from people was the screen time you asked about. So from Agri McBilly, my child's screen time is 2 hours on weekdays and 5 hours on weekends. Thanks. So that's what Agri McBilly said. And then from Sika, Saturdays 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour 30 minutes in the evening, and then Sundays 2 hours after church. And she's the same person. Sika also said no screen time on weekdays, so the screen time is just on weekends. Yes, please. So those are the only submissions we had so far for screen time.
Okay.
The hours that children use for like screen time. Yes. So I'd like to address that first, then we go to the question. Okay.
Yes. So if now that you've heard about the limits in terms of the age that's below 18 months or below 2 years, no screen time at all. If your child is below 2 years and you're doing 2 hours, 1 hour, you know that you have to stop. And so some parents will tell me that if I stop, the child will cry. And I tell them that, guess what? It is what you replace it with. And then they come back to me and they tell me that I've hidden the tablet for 2 days and my child is not even crying. I say, yes, the children can easily forget. It depends on what else they are. You replace it with. Are they playing? Do they get to play? Are they active? They like to run around. So check the number of hours against what the WHO is recommending, that no screen time below 2 years or 18 months, and above between 3 and 5 years, not more than an hour in a day. And even that, they say do it in bits of 20 or 30 minutes. And at the end of the whole day, the child shouldn't have done more than an hour. Please, if you stick to this, you see a lot of changes in your child. And I have so many stories where parents will tell me that since we stopped the screen, now the potty training is going well, because in the past, because they were sitting behind the screen, when it's time to take them to the washroom, they cry and all that. But now that we've stopped the screen or we've reduced it, now potty training is going well. So I think Charity is back. She's on mute here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just a lot that reducing screen time can do for your child.
Hello, please, Mrs. Charity, please, can you like raise your hand so that I see the actual Charity, and then mute, please. And Miss Gifty, thank you so much. So please, we'll get back to the question time. Thank you all. Okay. Okay. So, Madam Charity, please, can you hear me? Hello, Madam Charity. Please, I apologize for the technical issues. I think it's a little challenge. Hello, Madam Charity. I've unmuted, please. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please, you can.
Okay, all right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening. Please, do you mind sharing your screen, showing
Okay,
us?
all right. Okay.
And you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you too. It's like you have to enable me to share my screen. Oh.
Okay, please, right away.
Okay.
Mr. Godfred. Hello, Mr. Godfred. Okay, please, you can carry on. I think we have to make it a co-host. We had a little challenge. So please,
Okay.
you can carry on for now.
Without sharing the screen? Without sharing the screen?
Please, just a minute. Hello, Mr. Godfred, can you hear me?
Okay, so let's go on. Whilst they're trying to work on the screen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can.
Okay, so whilst he's working on that, let's just go on quickly. So we've talked about limiting screen time for our children. Okay, so when we take away the screen, what do we have to replace it with? Some people have been used to the screen. So when you take it away, what do you want us to do with the children? Okay, so we are giving you a solution. The solution is to play. Let's allow our children to play. Let's allow them to play and play and play. That is the solution to the screen time. So what is play? Play is a crucial and natural activity that plays a significant role in the development of children. You heard my colleague saying that children have to develop their hand through a certain play. And so it's a natural activity that is significant to the development of our children. Play is actually the child's profession, and it is very important for their survival as children. It's also an opportunity for them to understand the world and the environment around them and to make sense of it. And when it comes to play, the director is the child. And the reward of the play activity comes from deep within the child. Something you cannot buy with money. Something the screen time cannot give them. So I always love this favorite quote of mine from Anita Wadlin. She says, when you ask me what I did in school today, and I say, I just played. Please don't misunderstand me. For you see, I am learning as I play, and I am learning to enjoy and be successful in my work. Today, I am a child, and my work is to play. So that's a very favorite quote, and I think it should be the quote for the day. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas of play. These are pictures to give you just some ideas of play. Then I go on to talk about exactly the key importance of play. These are all different types of play. These are ideas. These will give us ideas of play. These are all different kinds of play. And these are not expensive. You can see that these things I'm showing are not expensive plays. They are not expensive things at all. But then the effect of it is very enormous. So somebody will ask, when does play start? Please, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so somebody will ask, when does play start? Play starts right from infancy. In fact, right from the womb. We just heard that when you read to a child, there is some research that says that these children are learning language right from the womb. So immediately a child is born, play starts. Now, what are the key aspects of play and its importance to child development? So one, cognitive development. When a child learns to play, what they are trying to do in some of the play activity is to problem solve. Play encourages children to think critically and find solutions to problems they encounter during play, enhancing their problem-solving skills. So you give a child like a Lego, and then Lego comes in different shapes and different colors. So there are Legos that come in the form of a house that have been shaped round, square, rectangle, octagon, all that. And then the child is supposed to fix those things in their respectful places. That child will problem solve. They initially might not know which one fits into which, but as time goes on, they begin to problem solve. He puts a square one in a triangular one. It doesn't fit. He will turn it. He would take it to another place until it fits. So he's problem solving. He's learning to problem solve by that play. Creativity is also another thing under cognitive development. The child is able to do imaginative play. Imaginative play allows children to explore their creativity and to develop their imagination. So how does a child get involved in an imaginative play? So they begin to act some characters that they know. So he acts Spider-Man. He starts moving his hand. He acts like Cinderella. They start acting the stories you tell them. They can act those stories, and that brings their creativity into play. So the child is learning how to be creative. The child is learning language development. Play enhances the child's vocabulary, communication skills. So the child is looking at something. Mommy says, what are you looking at? That's a ball. Oh, that's a blue ball. Blue ball. Look at the words. He's learning blue, he's learning ball. That's a big ball, that's a small ball. Let's bounce the ball. So vocabulary, the child is interacting with you. Unlike the screen where it is just one-way communication. But as you interact with the child, you are developing the child's vocabulary, you are developing the child's communication skills, and the child is beginning to understand concepts through conversation and interaction with you, the parents or caregivers, and their peers, their siblings at home. Social and emotional development is also acquired through play. Social skills, play provides opportunity for children to interact with others. They are able to negotiate. Give me, let me use it. When I finish, I'll give it to you. Okay, it's my turn. It's for me, it's my turn, let me use it. They learn to share. Okay, it's for you, let me use it small, I'll give it to you. Okay, let me blow small, I'll give it to you. Let me turn it small, I'll give it to you. They are learning to share. They are learning to cooperate. These are things that the screen will not teach them.
Hello, sorry for
Helping them to, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can I share my screen now?
Madam, yes, please, you can. I had a challenge, that's why I couldn't alert you earlier, but yeah, I
Okay.
could. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm sharing screen now. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Can you see
Yes.
my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
please. So sorry
Okay,
for the inconvenience.
that's fine. Okay, so we are talking about social and emotional development. So play provides the child the opportunity to interact with others, negotiate and share, and cooperate, helping them to develop essential social skills. So the child learns to understand another child. So this you can't get from the screen because that's one-way communication. Emotional regulation. Through play, children learn to manage their emotions. They're able to cope with frustration and they're able to build self-esteem. Children build their self-esteem through play. So he's playing with a friend. Come and play with me. So he's not isolated, and children really don't know how to isolate. When children get glued to the screen, what you don't see is that they don't know how to play with other children. They cannot interact with them, and that affects their social development. So children that play, they can understand other people. So a child gets hurt and then he goes there, oh, sorry. That's something you won't get from the screen. And that's part of the child's social and emotional development. Empathy. So playing with others help children to understand and appreciate the feeling and perspective of others, fostering empathy. So they begin to understand each other through play. How about physical development? The child's gross and fine motor skills. As the child learns to pick up that Lego, as the child learns to play in that mud, as the child learns to jump, they are developing their gross motor skill. They are developing their fine motor skill. They are climbing, they are running around, they are building blocks. These enhance their motor skills and their coordination. So they go to school and then their handwriting is good because they've developed the fine motor skill. They go to school and they can do well in sports. Because it's not every child really academically, it's not every child that is will toe that line, be good in math, but some children, they will be good in sports. And if that child is the type that will be good in sports and you deny them the ability to develop their gross motor skill, then you are already taking that which is important for that child away from that child. So it's good for their physical development. It's good for their health and well-being. So it tackles childhood obesity. The child is active. The child is physically fit because the child can get all these things through play. They learn to explore. So play is a child's way of exploring and making a sense of their world. It allows them to experiment, discover, and learn from the environment. It helps them with problem solving and decision making. Through play, children face various challenges and make decisions that help them to develop their problem solving and decision making skills. So he's playing with another child and then sometimes taking turns to do things. It brings out some form of understanding. Okay, this world is not all about me. I have to allow other people. And that is achieved through play. Self-expression. Play allows children to express themselves, their interest and their emotion is in a safe and a creative way. So the child gets angry, sees another child, or through play, the child is able to ease off that anger and doesn't throw tantrums. They learn to express his emotion in a better way. This is achieved through play. Academic readiness. Many educational concepts can be introduced and reinforced through play. So like pick and drop. You have pebbles, it can be stones, it can be even bottle covers. Okay, so pick, drop, and you are counting. The child is learning the concept of mathematics. You have big and small. Okay, I'll take the big one, you take the small one out. He's learning the concept of separation, subtraction. He's learning all those concepts through play. And this makes the child ready for school. It's a lifelong thing. Play is a lifelong learning. The skill developed through play can have a lasting impact on a child's ability to adapt, learn, and problem solve throughout life. So you can see that play has enormous opportunity for the child to develop. So these are pictures. So this one is a 12 months old child. He has seen an iron there. He doesn't know that that thing is dangerous, but he has seen something to play with. That is why we say make the environment safe for this child. This child is not seeing any threat there. He's just seeing something to play with. The child on my right is learning how to differentiate. He's learning colors. He's learning concepts by just looking at that toy in his hand. He's grasping it. So his fine motor skill, he's trying to develop his fine motor skill. So look at all these aspects of play. These are not very expensive things that children develop entirely, completely, and holistically through play. So these are all options that we can create. We have to be part of our children's lives when they are playing. We have to be part of. In fact, I'm looking for a day where we will have a workshop for parents to just come and learn how to play with their children. And I'm sure that that day will come. These are all things these are different types of play. And these are all things that we can do. We can let the children do this. They can do some of these things on their own. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be sitting with them to do it, but they can engage themselves in play. And it is through play that sometimes you can dictate children with challenges very early. When you leave that child on the screen and that child has a problem, you may not be able to tell that this child has a problem. You may not be able to tell that this child has a problem. But if you are physically interacting the child through play, then if there's something happening, you can detect it early. My child is always looking at one particular thing. He doesn't smile back. That you will see it very early if you are involving the child in play or the child is playing. So it even leads to early detection. This is also a form of play, fantasy play. The child tries new things, new situations, abstract thinking. So these are all ideas on play. Hopscotch. You don't need money to do hopscotch with your 4-year-old, with your 5-year-old. So these are excerpts of things you can do to be able to engage your child so that the child would develop holistically, physically, emotionally, cognitively, in every aspect of the child's development. That can be gotten through play. So in summary, what are we saying? Play is not just a recreational activity. It is an essential component of a child's development. It contributes to cognitive, social, emotional, and physical growth. It helps children become well-balanced individuals who are better prepared for the challenges of life. So, like I said, play starts in infancy, and ideally, it continues throughout life. Play connects children to their imagination, their environments, their parents, their family, and the world. So parents, caregivers, and educators should encourage and support play as a functional aspect of childhood. Thank you.
Thank
Is there any
you.
question?
Thank you very much, Madam Gifty. Thank you so much. That was a lovely presentation. So please, there are some questions in the chat box, but I would love for us to take a joint question time session. So I don't know if you don't mind. I would love to continue the question time with Miss Gifty Ayoka, and then we move on to your question time. Please, I hope that's fine
Okay,
with you.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. So please, Miss Gifty, are you ready to continue with the question time? Hello.
Hello. Okay, so I think we covered the screen time limit. So
Yes, please.
and what is the next question?
Okay, so please, the next question is from Linda Intifo. And then she says, what are your thoughts on ebooks for children, please?
It depends again on the age. Below 5 years, I would ask that you stick to paper books. Again, I mentioned the benefits of the paper books because then it gives them the opportunity to flip and firm up their fine motor skills. If you must do the ebooks, you have to still stick to, because it's still the screen, you have to stick to the screen time guidelines. And also you have to do it with the child. You have to do actively with the child, not just leave the child with the screen just because maybe it's reading or the screen is just maybe audio, is an audio storybook or whatever it is. You have to pause, talk to the child about what you're seeing or what you're hearing, you know, so that it is active. But still, if the child is under 5, you want to stick to the WHO guidelines or the American Academy of Pediatricians guidelines. But ideally, if you can, use paper books. Use paper books. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So please, most of the comments that came during representation were excellent recommendation, good points on the solution, nice presentation. And yeah, so please, if anyone has any question based on the first presentation from Madam Gifty, please leave it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and then I'll mute you, then you ask your question. So we have like some few minutes for this section of the question time, please. So as we wait for those questions, we'll move to, hello?
Hi.
Yeah, please, is someone trying to speak? Hello, Madam Charity.
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, so please, I'm moving to your questions. And
Okay.
we have some from Agri McBilly, and it says very insightful. Please, how do we restrict the kind of play items for our children to ensure safety?
Okay, so children under 3, you should give them bigger objects to play with. You should not give them smaller objects because of the tendency of swallowing these smaller things. Give them bigger objects, bigger balls to play with. Let them do a lot of outdoor activity. Big games, jumping, playing ball game, playing with their hands. Let them explore other textures. They can do Play-Doh, they can do play with the sun. They have to play with bigger objects because when they play with smaller things, the swallowing, that danger is there. So you just have to ensure that the environment is safe for them. They can even do water play. So water in the basin, keep them in there, let them splash the water. It doesn't matter. They are developing a concept that's, will help them later in life. Cause and effects. That's what they are developing. So he splashed the water is out of the bowl, the water splashes everywhere, and that's cause and effect. That's what he's learning. So after 3 years, you can give them like smaller objects to actually develop their finer motor skills in that aspect. But then there are play that doesn't involve toys. For instance, you can do crawling activity, which can be like play peekaboo, You're not holding anything. It's you and the child is developing the hand function. So the only caution is under 3, you don't use smaller objects because of the ability, for them not to swallow these things.
Okay, thank you very much. So please, there's another question from Ya. Please, my 2-year-old daughter was exposed to screen at 2 months, and she now has delayed speech and language. She is now on 0 screen time, but still not making progress. Any solutions to help her? She's 2 years, 2 months. She's 2 years, 3 months now. So please,
Okay.
this question here.
Okay, so 2 years, 2 months, and she's not. I think that where you can start from is probably bring her for assessment first. Okay, let us assess her first. Then we can give you ideas, because we need to know the extent to which this child is delayed and know where to pick it from. But it's not too late to start. Just see us for assessment at Mission Clinic, and then we'll give you the guidance on what to do. But just to say it's do this and that, I haven't assessed the child, so I won't know exactly what will work for that child.
Thank you.
You get me? Yes, please.
So please, there's another question from Edufo Boapo Maxwell, and it says, please, what language is best for communicating with our children, and are audio messages good for them?
Okay, so in terms of language, there's a myth that speaking different languages to a child can lead to speech and language delay. Like I said, it's a myth. There's no evidence to it. Actually, the best time to introduce a child to different languages is when they are growing up. And so children have the ability to learn more than 3 languages. And so research is now telling us that bilingualism and multilingualism is good. That children that are multilingual and bilingual are cognitively far ahead of their peers who are monolingual. They know more, they have more vocabulary, because if I know water in Chi and I know water in Frafra, which is my language, and also if I know water in Ga, that is 3 for me and 1 for the monolingual child. So it is not true that speaking more than 1 language to a child would confuse them. Children actually have the ability to learn many languages, okay? And they are so good at it that if mom speaks Ga to the child and dad speaks English or Ewe or any other language, they are able to switch in between. Like when they are talking to mom, they would use the Ga eventually. Then when they are talking to dad, they know that dad speaks maybe Hausa or whatever with them. And so they're able to, they can do that, they can switch. So it is absolutely good for you to introduce your child to, different languages. It does not delay them in any way. The causes of a speech and language delay in a monolingual child would be the same causes for a speech and language delay in a bilingual or a multilingual child. So speaking, more than 1 language does not confuse the child and will not lead to speech and language delay. About the parents who mentioned that their child was exposed to screen, I think that my colleague already mentioned that let's have an assessment done. But also, if you've rejoined the screen, you can start reading to the child. Okay, if you're telling me that, okay, I tried, but the child won't sit, I always tell the parents that is because you are trying to control the book. Is it your book? It's not your book. Okay, it's the child's book. So let the child control them. Let them hold the book, because the more they hold the book, the less likely they are able to scatter or tear, or because they are engaged. And always get the hard books if you can. If you can't, also you can always use sellotape to cover the book such that it becomes like laminated, so that when the child is controlling the book, your job as a caregiver or as a parent is just to give commentary. If they flip the book in twos, so for instance, they'll flip like 3 pages at a time, follow the child's lead. Don't try to force the child to start from the page 1. They don't understand that yet. For now, we're just trying to build their interest in the reading. The moment you try to control the book, they abandon the book and leave it with you, and they'll move on to something else. So always remember that let the child control the book. Yours is to give comment. Wherever the child opens to, say something. If it is fast, still say something. Yes, whatever it is, when they flip to the last page, say something. They come back, say something. And then make it fun. They begin to rely on the way you are, your voice and the way you are, imitating the animal sounds. And maybe you saw a monkey and you do the monkey sound. There's a cow. Remember, they can't do that yet. So then they are like, wow, my mom can do that, or my dad can do that. Then eventually they bring the book to you from wanting to control the book. Now they bring the book to you because they now enjoy mom's reading. Then that is where you can now do proper reading with them. But in the beginning, just allow them. Don't try to force them to follow your adult rules. It won't work.
And that is the same with play. The child is the director. Don't direct the play. Let the child direct the play.
Okay, thank you. So please, the next question in the chat box is, how do we handle children who will not eat their food unless they have their tablet in their hands? Very paramount question for me, please. And that's from Daniel.
Yes, I know a lot of families use screen time to get the child to eat. The last time we had a program on screen time, there was a dietitian who actually said that whilst the child is watching the screen, what the nutrients are supposed to do, it doesn't do, because the brain cannot, the same brain that you are using to watch the screen, is the same brain you're using to sort of digest the food. And so the dietitian was trying to say that it wasn't even healthy for the child to in the first place. Okay, now the child is addicted to using the screen to eat. I tell the parents that what the screen does is it entertains the child. Okay, how about you sing? How about you do all the funny things in the video? You pretend that the spoon can fly and all the way to their mouth, and then you're singing and you're doing all sorts. It has worked. And these are heavily addicted screen users. And the parents didn't even want to try these things. And then they come back and they tell me, then they begin to introduce books. Now I have some of the kids, the parents tell me that as for your boy, now, if I don't bring a book, he won't eat his food. This is someone who was addicted to the screen. Or if I don't sing, he won't eat his food. So we have to start withdrawing these things because it doesn't help anyone. Okay, so let's begin to withdraw this. And the same way that the children that we were introduced to books at a very young age, the way they are addicted to books, you should see some of them. It is almost like the way they are addicted to the screen. And for me, sometimes some of my clients will come in with a sibling. So if I have a rule that if the first child is my client, the second child, whatever I have to do to coach the mother so that they don't, if for any reason anything happens, at least the impact won't be as much as the first one. So the first thing is I talk to them about books, okay? And then they come back and they tell me that he's always reading, and he reads, he's able to read about 5 books in a day. Now they're addicted to books. The mothers are almost complaining that if you buy a book, then he reads it. If you buy a book, he reads it. And some of them, they come and maybe the older child is reading a book and they're also reading a book. They are interested in the older, in the local language, like Nini Bri books. That's how I want to say. The child is always one. It is possible to get them addicted to books. But if you don't start early, you can't build some of these things. And even if they're already addicted to books, trust me, you can still withdraw it and they'll begin to love books. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen several times. So it is never too late. Okay. It is never too late.
So you can also use playtime as fun time. You know, like she rightly said, the spoon is flying. So yummy fish, yummy fish. You know, you're singing for them. Oh, pawpaw is a kind of fruit. You know, these are things you can do. So the child is looking at you. Before you know it, the child has finished the food. So that also works. Eating time is playtime.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So please, the next question, okay, I think it's actually a continuation. So from Edufu Boafo Maxwell, he says, please, the second part of my question about audio songs has not been answered. So his question was, please, what language is best for communicating with our children, and are audio messages good for them? So I think the language side was answered. So he's inquiring about the audio messages aspect, whether it's good for children.
Audio is good if you join in. So if you're listening to rhymes, you can join in. If you're listening to a story, you can pause and try to maybe imitate some of the things you've heard with your child. So as long as you are involved, then there's that human interaction that we are looking for. But to leave the child to listen to these things, that is not what we want. We want you to be involved. And if you can't, please just allow them to play. Like my colleague mentioned, just create a safe environment and allow them to play.
Okay, thank you. So please, there's another question from Daniel Wiafi. And it says, how can we control a child who likes screaming and throwing of things if being denied screen time?
Okay. First of all, does the child have any underlying condition? That's the first thing I would like to know. If there's no underlying condition, if they are not delayed in any way, and it is just that they are addicted to the screen, okay, they're just addicted to the screen. It's very easy. You have to hide it, okay, or you start reducing. If they were getting 2 hours in a day, you can reduce it to maybe 20 minutes in a day. But what are you replacing?
Please, sorry to interrupt, but he says no, please. The child has no underlying conditions.
Okay, so even if they do, it's still possible to withdraw the screen. There are some parents that have said, let's reduce it. Let's start with maybe if you are having 3 hours, can we reduce to 30 minutes? They come back and they tell me that they've hidden, everything is shut down in the house. This is because they want to just kill that screaming and throwing of things. They want to kill that behavior. And so you can either go slow, reduce it, or if you decide to go hard, whichever way, eventually the child understands. But each time they scream and you give them the tablet, remember you are reinforcing a negative behavior. And so if every time I come to you and I insult you and you give me money, do you think I'll stop? No, because you are motivating me. So each time I'll come and do the same thing. You give me money, knowing that maybe you cannot, you can't bear the pressure. And so you give me money so I can go away. That's the same thing the child is doing to you. Each time they scream, you do it. And mind you, they will do it to you in public. I tell the parent that be ready to absorb. And so this, okay, I've seen what you've added, that he does it in school too. First of all, what's his age? Why should there even be screen time in school in the first place? Okay, if it is something that it's been managed in maybe in bits of 20 minutes, fine. But please, you have to start from home. Control the use. Replace it with books. My colleague Charity has talked about play. There are just a lot of things. Legos, she spoke about Legos. There are magnet tiles that the child can fix and all that. every child will try to bully you, including the older ones in my house. At every point when it comes to the screen, they want to have their way. But you should have the limits, and you need to enforce it. Otherwise, it gets to a point where when you are going out with them, you need to carry the tablet, because they have to be on the screen to be calm. And that's, remember, as they grow, is this something that is sustainable? They need to socialize. But here they are so addicted to the screen that they can't socialize. So at this point, you want to stop reducing it. Draw a plan, reduce it, start reducing it. If you can't withdraw it completely. And for some of them, they tell me that when we withdraw it, the child doesn't even ask for it because of what you've replaced it with. Okay, allow the child to go out and play, bounce, do all sorts, buy, what's it called? Farming, this watering can.
Water can, yeah.
Yes. Buy these things for your child. We see these things in the videos and we think it's more European. But when we go to the villages, the children are playing. Okay, the children are playing, they are making good use of their environment, and we have all these things right in our environment. I was reading about because now everywhere there's just concrete. In Europe, now there's a program where someone has created a natural space where children come in and immerse themselves in the natural environment for like 30 minutes, and they pay. And I'm like, really? When we have this thing free here, we are not even using it. People elsewhere, they have to pay to get access to the natural environment. We have it here, we're not using it, and we are keeping the children home. So indoors, it's not even good for their eyes. Okay, they need some sunlight. They need to exert some energy.
Okay, thank you.
I think, yes, I think that he should also create, if she's a girl, I mean, you can buy all these kitchen sets of things like cooking, this thing that comes like cooking, kitchen nets, saucepan, all these things, and then give it to her to play. If it's a boy, you can look for helmets, you can look for all these other things that's so manly to them. Let them play with it. Firefighter, all these things. The child will definitely be interested about playing with some of these things. Because when you take the screen away, you have to give that child something.
Okay. Thank you very much. So please, there's another question from Sarah Mao. I first started reading to my son when he was 6 months old. However, it seemed I was the only one interested in the bedtime stories. I guess he was too young, so I was demotivated and stopped reading to him. He's 10 months old now, and I want to know if it's okay to start reading to him now, or would you recommend a later age?
Reading must start from the womb. And if the child is already out, then we have to start reading as soon as the child is out. One of my lectures shared a story of how her friend had delivered in a hospital in the UK, and just next door was another a white woman who has also delivered. And then each morning she would hear this woman talking, describing things, and so she was curious. Okay, and so she went there and she said, but you're always alone, but why are you? And she said, oh no, she's reading to the baby, she's talking to the baby. And then she said to herself, hey, now baby soon I only need AIDS in common. Like I think the person, baby. So, and these are things that we need to tell parents, that the child needs to hear your voice. You need to talk to the child, you need to read to the child, and it starts from age 0. And trust me, if you start very early, by 3 years, if you compare that child to the child that was not introduced to books at a very young age, and the one that you started at age 0, there's a huge difference in terms of their love for school, their reading skills, their love for books, their vocabulary level. There is a huge difference. So I always advise parents that if the first one, you didn't do some of these things because you hadn't heard about it, now that you've heard about it, please read to the child. The child, as for the child, they are just listening to you. When they are young like that, it's just your voice they are trying to hear, and you are just building vocabulary. And simple books, very simple books. you know, very, very simple books with just single words or maybe 2-word phrases is enough. Or even if it's just a picture book, you can describe the pictures to the baby. And it's just building their vocabulary up, developing a love for books. And we've had some parents are not educated, right? And we tell them that describe the book in the local language. Remember, it is the love for books that you are developing. And as they start school and they begin to learn all these phonics, remember, you've already introduced them to books. And so now, because they love the books and now they are learning the reading skills from the school, it adds up, it all adds up. So books are great. There's an organization that supports us with some books. And so if you want a book, you can reach out. You can reach out to Mission with your name. We can drop some books at Mission for you to pick up. You can also, contact the admin. If you want a book, we can give you at least one free book to start with, because books are great. Books are great. And our target is that by age 5, for most of these kids, they should at least have 100 books, which is possible.
Okay, thank you very much. So please, Daniel, we are is asking a follow-up question. And then he says, please, can we get him a therapist or facilitator to follow him to school? And it's with regards to his child screaming and throwing things when denied screen time.
I think at this point we would ask for an assessment, right?
Assessment,
Charity.
yeah. Yes. So ask for assessment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please contact Mission for an assessment.
For assessment.
Yeah.
Okay, so from Gertrude Abby, the brain is not able to process the taste, texture, and aroma of the food when they use the screen during feeding time. They end up becoming picky eaters. So I think that's a contribution from her side.
Yes, Gertrude is a special language therapist. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay, so Naomi says she's interested in the books. Okay, yes. So I'll be dropping the contact. I'll be leaving a contact for you to reach Mission Pediatrics on if you're interested in the books or just some, finding out more about your child, wanting to get help for your child, therapy and all of that. Because Mission Pediatrics is very skilled. We have skilled experts, speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, special educators, and a whole lot that can help your child. So please, the official contacts for Mission Pediatrics are 024 724 1447. And please, it's in the chat box, but I'm just letting you know. And there's a second one, that's the Vodafone line, 020 329 5292. And our clinic is located at Caprice. You can just enter Mission Children's Clinic on Google Maps or Bolt, any riding app, and then it can take you straight to us. So at this point, I'm not seeing any more questions. So if there's still some questions, please feel free to ask. If there's still some questions, feel free to ask. Or you can raise your hand and then I'll mute you and then you make a contribution or ask a question. So please, I take the numbers again. You can reach Mission Pediatrics via 024 724 1447 or 020 329 5292. Thank you very much. So I don't see any questions and I don't see any hands. So I'm thinking we are all okay. Madam Gifty and then Madam Charity. Thank you both so much for your amazing and then lovely delivery. We've learned a lot. Personally, I've learned a lot. And we are so grateful for your time. And also would like to thank everyone that made it to be a part of this meeting, for your time, your contribution, questions, and all. I would as well like to introduce you to an amazing get-together experience that we have happening on the 2nd of December. So it's the Parents Roundtable Fun Day. Mr. Godfrey, could you please share the flyer so that we all see it? So it's the Parents Roundtable Family Fun Day Out, happening on the 2nd day of December, which will be the first Saturday of the month of December. And it will take place at the Accra Church School. And it starts exactly 10 a.m. It's going to be so fun. The theme for this program is forgotten local games or forgotten traditional games. So when you come, we're actually going to help you with how you can play with your children, how to engage your children in playing, because it's going to be so fun. There will be Pimpina, Sansa Chroma, Pilolo, Alikoto, Potomanto, football. It's just going to be so fun, so amazing. And trust me, you wouldn't want to miss out on such a fun day. So please make it a point to be there with your children, with your family, because it's a family day out. And it's to end this Parents Roundtable discussion for the year, because it's been so amazing with you all and your constant support. So thank you all so much once again for your participation. And until next time, we bring the meeting to an end. Please don't forget to make a date with us on the 3rd Saturday of next month, November. And a lot of people are asking in the chat box that can they have the recording? Yes, please. It's always made available on our Facebook page and YouTube page. Yes, so Mission Pediatrics. So you can access the recording on our Mission Pediatrics page on Facebook, and then our Roundtable page on YouTube. Yes, please. And if you're in our WhatsApp group, you always see that we share the links there for you to be able to access the videos after the presentations. So thank you all so much once again. We really appreciate your love. And please enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend. And it's a bye.
Bye.